While Arkansas just passed an animal cruelty law 5 years ago, it does not have any law against puppy mills. Because of this, the Animal League of Washington County says 300 plus dogs were able to go undetected for so long in Madison County.
She had not been fed correctly. She hadn't been loved.
Glenna is fostering Annie after she says Annie spent most of her life pregnant at a Madison County puppy mill. The Humane Society of the United States defines a puppy mill as a large-scale commercial dog breeding operation where profit is given priority over the well-being of the dogs.
She's had litter after litter after litter and has lived a miserable, miserable life.
She was one of the hundreds of dogs rescued by the Humane Society of the United States along with local organizations, and the Animal League of Washington County says Annie was in terrible shape, malnourished, living in feces, and sick.
She had several tumors, mammary gland tumors, one that was so big that it dragged the ground. So when we were on the scene that day, I don't know how she even walked, carrying that tumor around.
It was huge. It was, as you can see, she still has issues, but yes, it was dragging the ground, and her toenails were curled up under her feet, and she was just emaciated. I mean, like, she looks so much better now, if you can believe it.
They say Annie was one of the dozens of dogs being bred here.
It was very heartbreaking to see the conditions of those dogs. A lot of them, you couldn't even tell what breeds they were because their hairs were so matted to their skin. I mean, just complete mats. And you could see that the dog may be white, but it was brown just from rolling in its own feces. It was the stench, probably you will never forget the horrible smell.
Last year, State Representative Jim Servillo introduced a bill that would have had state inspectors visiting dog breeding facilities and to improve their standards of care, but it did not pass out of committee. Representative Servillo tells 4029 News he plans to bring back the bill in next year's legislative session.
There is no particular laws in place governing puppy mills, so this person could go and breed, sell these babies and these dogs living in horrible, neglected situations.
The Humane Society says with Arkansas being so close to Missouri and Oklahoma, it has made Arkansas a magnet for breeders that would rather move to our state than to improve their own facilities.
I think a lot of the people that run puppy mills, they have fled to this area in Arkansas because there are no regulations and they can go under the radar as far as letting these animals breed like crazy.
We're not even sure how many puppy mills are operating in Arkansas since the state does not require them to be licensed or checked.
And it goes undetected unless we get a tip and a report, of something going on, and then we can start an investigation.
Once they get a tip, they have to report it to the authorities and ask them for a conditions check. They check to see if it's a valid complaint.
Because we need regulations on puppy mills. They need to be investigated. They need to be looked at on a regular basis. And if they are in violation of no clean water, not enough food, animals stacked in cages, inhumane conditions, that those are reported and those people need to be shut down or get up to standard.
The Animal League is going through the application process now for Annie. As with other animals, there is a 4-page application process. A home visit is involved, and in many cases, they will bring Annie with them visiting the home to see how they get along with family and possibly other pets in the home.
We're very thorough in our selection for homes because we want them to be the best homes that these animals could have.
That they will find her a perfect home and where she's loved and she can spend the rest of her senior years getting the attention that she deserves. And the care that she deserves.
The Animal League of Washington County says you can help in more ways than one. They say if you're moved by this story, call your local state representatives and senators to push for new laws and oversight.
Have your voice be heard. If this upsets you, that animals can live like this and people profit off of it, then your voice needs to be heard.
I think the time has come. I think the laws will change. I think people are recognizing how bad it is. And it's going to change.
Una Lee, 4029 News.